share my screen.
Because my sound is up so I'm going to put some of these on sound.
Okay, I'm gonna open
That's
mine.
better. You're not getting feedback.
I'm gonna open mine. All right, so the pandemic, what has it brought us? It brought us a lot of losses, gains, strengths, opportunities, weaknesses. And one of the things that I've been taking the opportunity of doing while we're working from home is learning about new topics that we all need to I like to say know about, because we do need to have that that knowledge of. So what I want to bring to you today is psychological first aid for coordinators. And you might think, why psychological first aid? Why? Because I'm a coordinator. I'm not a psychologist. But here's the thing: we do this. You might not think about it as a psychological first aid, but we do this. So moving forward, these are my disclosures. I have no financial disclosures. I am a member of the ACGME's National Wellbeing Group that meets monthly, and I am a member of the Charm Wellbeing Leaders Group. So I wanted to bring today what psychological first aid is, why PFA in short, and we're going to practice some scenarios so you can see why we all know about we all practice psychological first aid in the background, and we don't notice it. So what is psychological first aid, or PFA? So the National Child Traumatic Stress Network defines this as an intervention that is used to assist survivors and responders immediately after the aftermath of a disaster. But it's not only used in disasters, let me tell you. So why do we need to know about PFA? Believe it or not, we use it to mitigate the side effects of acute stress. Whenever a resident comes in and is stressed about, or a student comes in and is stressed about, we use these skills. We use them and we calm them. We go through and we see what they're going through, and we try to get them centered again. It's not a treatment for PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, nor is designed for a one-time and done thing. And this practice allows you to do follow-ups and maintain continuous of care. So you finish talking with a resident, you use these skills, and you want to follow up with them. You use them again. So it's a good opportunity for us to know these skills. And let me say that some of these materials that I'm presenting to you today are from a couple of PFA courses that I took between the National Child Traumatic Stress Network and some courses in Coursera with the Johns Hopkins University, and also with as part of the ACGME's wellbeing initiatives. So some of the basic principles in PFA that we need to know in order to understand how we're going to deliver them. So based on various courses, like I mentioned, including the one from Yale, we have to know about safety, calmness, connectedness, self and community efficacy, and hope. But we also need to know about our own needs. And this is where this diagram comes in. The Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Everybody starts in their physical needs, through their physical needs. We go up to our safety needs, and then we go up to our affection, acceptance, support, self-esteem, until we reach self-actualization. Goes from down to up. But we need to maintain clear that at some opportunities, we do not reach self-actualization on the first try. We need to make sure that we do go through most of these steps more than once. We do view our physical, we need to view our physical needs. We need to go through our safety multiple times. So that's why those two are down below, because those two are the most important ones. So before I move forward, I would like for you to tell me why do you think PFA applies to us? Feel free to use the chat function or to speak up. We are in a safe space right now, so I want to hear what you think. Anybody? Feel free to speak up. Yes, Denise, for our well-being, that is so true. Anybody else? Thank you, Kimberly. You're right. It's to help us monitor our residents' wellness and assist them when they are in distress. That's true. Anybody else?
I think what we just went through in the pandemic was a perfect example of this. Why? Why do we need to go this direction?
That's true. That's very, very true. So moving forward, let me see if that moves forward. Okay. In most cases, we as the coordinators, as we are that person that the residents go to first in most cases, or another staff member or even faculty. It's depending on the relationship, and even students go to you, and you are that projection, that you're that person that is there for them, that pseudo mothers, pseudo aunts, in other cases, I'm going to be honest with you, that sibling, brother, sister, whatever they see you as, besides as a coordinator, they see you as that person they trust. They feel they can trust you enough that they can come to you and speak up. So we use PFA. We never put a label on it, but we use PFA, and we start by asking some of the basic questions. So, how are you? How are you feeling? How is your family doing? Is there anything I can do to help and support you? What do you need? Those are some of the questions that we tend to ask them when they are come in and they need somebody to talk to. So taking this into the next step, what can we do and what can we not do? So your resident comes in, or your student comes in, and you see them, they sit down, they say, I want to talk to you. Give them some time, give them some space. Do not hurry them up. Do not pressure them to talk to you. Listen to them carefully. Don't rush to interrupt them while they're talking. That's one of the fastest ways that they will lose trust in you. Like I said, allow them to gain that strength to be able to take care of themselves, to talk about what's going on. Don't give them false hope. Demonstrate patience and let them know that you're listening. And these materials are adapted from PFA content by Dr. Stuart Slaving. He's this ACGME Senior Scholar for Wellbeing. So when I looked through this, I was like, I do that every day. We all do that every day. But besides the do's and the don'ts, what we cannot say. Oh, get over it. You shouldn't feel that way. Oh, you should feel lucky that you survived. And don't even say, it will be okay too soon. Because if you tell them all of this, you will sound disinterested. They will probably go to another person the next time. They won't feel comfortable enough to go back to you. So demonstrate your interest. Demonstrate that you are there, that you're listening to them, that you have their respect, that you have their backs. So piggybacking from this, let's talk about what to do about how delivering PFA. First of all, act professionally. Like I said, pay attention, give them the space, but giving them the space, let them feel comfortable. Be knowledgeable and sensitive to issues of culture and diversity. Here's the thing, we've been seeing so much about diversity, inclusion, equity recently, more so ever since all of these situations have happened, that most of them aren't feeling comfortable saying, I'm feeling that I've been discriminated in some way because of my race, gender, age, sexual orientation. So think about all of those qualities, all those issues. Be knowledgeable about development and age-appropriate interactions. It is not the same you delivering PFA to an older adult than to a kid. It's not the same delivering PFA to a teenager than to a younger adult. So you have to be very conscious about those age groups. Be mindful about how you speak. In this case, it says to survivors, but to all of them. How do you speak to them? How do you would like them to talk to you? You know, take that into consideration. And most importantly, don't make assumptions. Don't think that they're asking for something when they're not. Don't make assumptions. So now that I introduced PFA, I would like to divide you into two groups. And we're gonna practice some scenarios. I'm gonna introduce those scenarios here. And then when I break out, send you to your breakout groups, hopefully this works, I will share with you those scenarios in PDF form. So what I want you to do is take one person to act as a resident. Try to make this a dialogue. I'm going to give you the background of that scenario, of each scenario, and try to discuss amongst yourselves. How would you act? What would you say to that resident in that moment based on the scenarios? Let me be clear, the scenarios differ in some details. So you have to be very mindful of what you're gonna say. So the first scenario goes like this. One of your first year residents, Jay, comes into your office in the middle of the morning. He has been working in your program for 2 months now, and is in first ICU rotation. It's been a week since he started the rotation, and he's already feeling burned out, which is not good. Through the grapevine, you heard that last week he experienced his first patient's death, and this morning 3 more patients died in the span of 2 hours. You had asked him to come in at some point of the day to fill out his vacation request form. So you're gonna think about what you might say and take the time to process what he is saying. Acknowledge him by listening quietly and allow him to speak at his pace. When he takes a big pause, you take the time to think about what he just said before the long pause and allow him to say anything else before you talk again. Our second scenario, you work with a family medicine program that houses 36 residents. Sometimes you wonder, how do you keep up with all of them on a daily basis? And you rely on your chief residents to reach out to them and to you in case there are any issues. You're working on resident updates when Amy, one of your chief residents, comes in and sits down. She looks overwhelmed and looks at you for support. By allowing her to take the time to think things through before continuing the conversation, you have allowed Amy to gather her strength that she didn't know she needed to talk to you about what's going on in her life. So I'm gonna pause my share here. I'm gonna stop my screen sharing, and I'm gonna break you into the 2 breakout groups. I'm gonna come in, share the scenarios with you, and you're gonna have about 15 to 20 minutes to discuss it amongst yourselves. Again, pick somebody to play the resident role, okay? Okay. You want to join room 1?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So.
You're not the 580 number, are you?
Hmm?
Are you the 580 number?
No.
More of us in here?
Okay, this is not allowing me to go to the.
You can't go to either one. Can you do that?
No, it's not that. Here it is. Okay. Okay. You have scenario 1 there.
I've ever been trained. Like, I feel like it was just something I've learned on the job. I wish I early on had training. I don't think it was even identified as something we would deal with, back in the early 2000s.
I really think I
Honestly, I am not good at Zoom. All right. Who wants to speak up? Chat, feel free. Anybody?
I'll speak up. I think in our group, we had this scenario with the chief resident and talked about how that tends to be kind of common for a coordinator's office for residents to just drop in ready to kind of unload on you and tell you everything that's going on. I think we all experience it. I shared with the group, it's pretty regular around here. So, and I said for myself, I do try to listen to them. I do try to get them to talk through maybe solutions. And a lot of times I'll say to them, well, what do you think you should do? Or come to me with a solution. I was telling them I have one that I call a frequent flyer that always came in with problems, but he just sort of wanted to dump his problems. And so finally I started saying to him, hey, I need you to come to me with, when you have a problem, I'm happy to listen, but I need you to come to me with solutions, because that's a skill they're going to have in the real world someday anyway, really, no matter what they do. So we talked a little bit about that, I think, about kind of helping them, and then also how to help ourselves, because they're dumping all their stuff on us. So who do we dump our stuff on? And a little bit of Aria gave me some great ideas about how I can de-stress myself, so I'm not taking my stuff and dumping it on another person in my department, or worse yet, my family when I go home. So.
Thank you so much, Joanne. Anybody else who wants to speak up, give their insights about what they learned today? Okay, so moving forward, let's talk about unorthodox things. Don't be afraid to allowing residents to close an office door and letting them scream, because sometimes we even need that. So if you also have the ability to, if you have an office or have a safe place that you can go and just close.
You already been eating dog treats all your life. Come on.
So don't be afraid to scream. Don't be afraid to just take it all out on that empty space, because it will help you. It will immensely help you. Don't be afraid to see them cry. I mean, there are residents who have seen me cry, and thankfully they have been there and they have helped me through some stuff. So I am also returning the favor to them when when they need to. Tell them to take some time for themselves. If you see a resident or that hasn't taken vacation in, I don't know, 6 to 8 months, tell them to take the time off. They need to recoup. They need it for their wellness. Or don't be afraid to tell them to leave for the rest of the day. They need, that time will help them towards their mental health, their spiritual health, their emotional health. It's gonna help them immensely. I cannot guarantee it, but it's really awesome to see them have that time off. Okay, this is not okay. So, any of you have any questions, any concerns, anything you want to say? I'm gonna post in the chat the link for our evaluation form for our session. I hope you can share your thoughts about this this session. Any questions that you want to ask?
Or anything, sorry, I'm over here over my shoulder because we're in the summer. Anything that you would like to hear about in an upcoming series or in the group? If you have any ideas for that, please share it in the chat or shoot us an email. You know, we brainstorm together, and we would love to actually reach out to any of you and let you present. We'd love to hear different ideas and make us all share information. And yes, please fill out the eval so we can know if we need to do this again.
Yeah, earlier you mentioned somewhere where you could take one of the PFA courses. Is that something you can only take if you have the tagging certification?
Uh-huh. You need help with TAGME certification?
No, I was trying to confirm where you participated or took one of the PFA courses.
Okay, so I did the one with, there's this website called Coursera.org, and I'm going to put it in the chat. Coursera.org. They have free courses, and you can purchase the certificate for a small fee. I haven't purchased it yet. I'm going to be honest with you. I just took the course because that allowed me to do so for free. And also the National Child, the National Child Traumatic Stress Network also offers the course, and you get a certificate from that. And there are different other options. I just still haven't discovered them all.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, I'm back here over her shoulder. I heard TAGME certification. If anybody's interested in that, I'm restarting. I'm finishing up, submitting everything. I'm at my 5 years is up. Anyway, if anybody's interested in that, reach out to one of us. I'd be glad to be study buddies. It's changed since I did it 6 years ago now. Yeah, I would love to start a group.
When would you say is a good time to start studying for that?
I would say, Deandra, was that you or Joanne? I see, no, who was that? Or was it Amber?
It was Amber.
Oh, Amber.
So, I think it actually gives you a guideline in the guidelines, but I think it's 2 years. I think after you're in your position, 2 years is when you, if you feel like you're ready, then you apply to sit for certification.
Well, I mean, but what do you think is like an ample amount of study time? Do you think like maybe a year before you're at the end of your 2 years, or like a month before?
Oh, no, you need at least 6 months. I would give yourself a minimum of 6 months.
So Amber, I know you come up to in a year for a year now in July, and your 2 years come up next July. So if you wanna, you will have your first opportunity to apply for Tag Me will be for 2023, because you need to have the two full years when you apply. So if you're considering for 2023, I know the exam window is around August, September.
Yeah, so they open it up, so I think they opened it up at the beginning of April. It ends, the application window ends at the end of May. And then they'll start telling you when your test date is, which I'm hoping after my test date will be late in the year, because my last test date was an October, November date. So, yeah, so I'm hoping to give myself 6 months to study again. My first test was just in GME, because I was with AOA programs and they were switching to ACGME. So I tested in graduate medical education in general. This time I'll do family medicine.
Okay. Thank you. And I'll call you. Best believe both of you.
Yes, please.
Any other questions? Okay, so I wanted to say this, even though he's not here, Dr. Stuart Slaving, who I mentioned, he's the ACGME Senior Scholar for Wellbeing. He helped me immensely prepare this presentation for you guys. And here is my info. Feel free to, that's my cell phone number. Feel free to text me, email me. I'm preparing a lot of resources for well-being that I want to share with our affiliate programs in the future. So if you need help with well-being or anything coordinator related, I'm available. So you are more than welcome to contact me. Kimberly, if you feel the same way.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. No, absolutely.
So thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Any other questions? Any comments before we adjourn?
Yeah, you said this recording, this was recorded, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping that it comes out good. This is my first time recording a Zoom meeting, so.
Okay, all right, not a problem. And should we email you for that, or?
No, I will let you know as soon as I have it edited and everything.
Got you. Okay, all right, thank you so much.
Yes, no problem.
Thank you, Kim and Aria. You guys did great.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. So if there's nothing else from any of you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We hope that next year we can be able to do this and see you in person, hopefully. If not, we will try to do it virtually again. And thank you so much for being with us this afternoon. Bye.